Here's something from my childhood that I don't hear a lot of people talk about that's turning 18 this year. Hot Wheels Acceleracers. A 4-part miniseries direct-to-DVD, a sequel series to Hot Wheels The World Race, but don't worry for people who haven't seen The World Race, it does stand on its own. Anything important from The World Race will be brought up during the series. The first part, Ignition, begins with someone racing up a track to get a thing, but he is stopped and then the thing is captured by a jet and he falls. After somehow surviving a massive drop, that guy was named Dr. Tesla and he's getting hunted by Necrons. Also note this for later, Tesla has an emergency teleporter in his car. He makes it to Highway 35 when a different robot picks him up. The intro plays over to Necrons, simply known as drones, and we get a sense of how big and important these guys are, with an endless horde of robots led by a mysterious woman. This leads into the logo, and we get to meet the main characters. Our first team of racers are the Teku, who like techno music. There's Vert and Kurt from the World Race, Nolo the leader, Karma, and Shirako. They're going to be racing against the Metal Maniacs, our other team of racers, Taro from the World Race, Torque the leader, this edgelord named Marky from the World Race, who's now going by just Wild, he's Kurt's brother, a fact which he hates, and Monkey the comic relief. Torque and Nolo are going to race. Nolo has a T-necklace which he got from his brother Tone. Tone used to be the Teku leader until he died in a car crash, which Nolo blames on Torque. The two begin their street race. They're kind of evenly matched, then Wild ruins it by driving in between the two because he has a point to make to always beat Teku, causing both of them to spin out, and then he's accidentally run off the road by the robot from earlier, but luckily he has a grappling hook in his car because it's one of those franchises. Everyone makes it down. The robot named Gig says that Tesla needs them, but Kurt is untrusting of it because after a world race, Tesla took all the nitrox and tried getting the wheel of power, things that they'll explain what that is later, but most of the teams decide to go investigate anyway. And on the road to Highway 35, Vert notes that Tesla only recruits the best of racers and that the real Highway 35 is an altered dimensional thing built by ancient ones. Just go with it.
Hey! This isn't a race! It's always a race.
They make it to a giant cardboard box covered in Hot Wheels logos, where they meet Kadeem from the World Race. He takes everyone to Tesla's new hideout, which you have to jump a cliff to get in. A giant hologram Tesla, and then later Lonnie from the World Race discusses what the Ring of Power is. Basically, the Wheel of Power is a bunch of interlocking wings that kind of rotate around and open different realms. The drones have a real one, and Tesla has a hologram that seems to work just fine. And speaking of it, it starts to open, so everyone upgrades their car with nitrox, which is basically nitro. Then they zip around a Hot Wheels track because they have to hit 300 miles to get into the portal and defy gravity. And a little thing that Lonnie and Tesla forgot to mention is they have a time limit of an hour. Everyone makes it into the portal and somehow survive a massive drop, and they make it into the Storm Realm, where they have to avoid getting electrocuted and defy gravity. The drones find them and go in. One of the drones has a chip that lets them see in the fog. Also, his big truck can turn into a smaller racing car. And he finds a giant chrome thing that lets him accelerate. Monkey's car gets disintegrated, so he has to ride with Wild. Taro actually saves Hadim from getting his car annihilated.
Good, Taro! We can take on these drones together!
I'm gonna pass you.
Then one drone harpoons Hardin, and then another one knocks the drone over with Hardin. He manages to cut free, and Vert tries to save him, but he misses. And then his parachute gets disintegrated, and his signal goes out. Remember, Tesla had a teleporter, Hardin did not. Taro gets electrocuted, Karma gets in a wreck. Vert and Kurt tries blocking one of the drones, but he has another chip that makes him go 2D. The drones stick together as they near the portal, as Vert and Kurt use the nitrox, which only ends up in yet another crash. And the drones win and get a new chip. Because the drones won the race, the realm is pacified. Monkey makes Wild go back for Taro because they're welded together. Vert goes looking for Kadeem, just as Lonnie mentions they have a time limit. Vert cuts it close on the return, but oh no, drone tacked along. But Karma just crushes it. Vert's concerned about Kadeem, Wild makes fun of him, but Tesla breaks it all up, as he appears to everyone in person in a full body cast. And he tells everyone they can't reopen a portal after they close. And every time they win a race, they get a little chip called the Acceleracharger that gives them powers related to that race. And just as they say that, the rest of the Teku and Metal Maniacs arrive. Tesla's mad about this and Monkey wants to leave, but Torque is being a good leader and sees what the droids did to his team, so he's gonna stay and fight against them. They also ask why is the base such a secret, who is Tesla hiding from, and Tesla actually hesitates before saying the drones, so he's clearly hiding from someone else we don't know yet. At that moment, a big truck loaded with new cars arrives, drove by Porkchop, our final racer of the Metal Maniacs.
Scrap that noise, Teku!
But before the team gets into a big fight, yet another portal opens, this time to the Swamp Realm, which is actually kind of odd because this is an example of the portal reopening a realm, because this happened in the World Race. There's even a car still there from there. Either way, everyone heads in, Monkey and Porkchop are sharing a car. Tesla actually calls in and says they all should split up, which Lonnie doesn't like. The drones enter Florida Realm. There's a moment where Monkey sees a road, but it leads into water, so Porkchop takes a different route. This will be important. The group's deal of gas-guzzling mosquitoes. The Teku actually use their speakers on their cars for a weapon against the mosquitoes, which is a unique idea. Kurt finds a giant toy called the Accelopod, which was left behind by the Eld ones. He uses it to drive over rough terrain.
Hey, Monkey Man, hand me that anchor chain.
What do you have an anchor chain for?
My anchor.
Conveniently land on another Accelopod with drills on it. Toro spears a drone, and he flips himself. Kurt drives under them, but the only thing that really accomplishes is giving Toro whiplash. And a giant tentacle monster appears. It grabs almost everyone. Lonnie tries getting people to draft together, but the teams still don't like each other, so Torque and Wild do it by themselves and get captured. No, being the only racer still on the road, decides to just go with the flow, stay in the groove, which actually causes him to win the race, and he gets an Acceleracharger. Everyone makes it back, and now is Ignition. This is a pretty good start for the series. It introduces two large groups of people, but we already can see they are very different from each other. Near group are just a monolith, they all have different personalities with each other, with their own character motivations, like Nolo being motivated by his brother's death, and Wild being motivated by how much he hates his brother. Tesla is an interesting mentor who's clearly hiding something. The drones are a very effective villain group who do actually win against the heroes. The music's great, the voice acting's great. The animation is a little dated. This came out in 2005 and it's direct-to-DVD, so of course it kind of is. But there is still some good motion to it, and I like the character designs. They're very 2000s characterized. But either way, this is a solid start. A 6.5.